In a quiet town stood a dojo that many admired, but also feared. The man who ran it, Master Richard, was not only a black belt, but also a man who believed his skill made him superior to anyone who stepped inside those walls. His students respected him, but they also feared his arrogance. Every evening, the dojo filled with sounds of punches hitting pads, feet stomping against mats, and the commanding voice of Master Richard barking out orders. On the side, unnoticed, a quiet man pushed a mop across the wooden floor. His name was Marcus Carter. To most, he was invisible, the janitor who arrived before classes ended and stayed until the mats gleamed again. He kept his head down, worked silently, and left before anyone cared enough to speak with him. But Marcus was not an ordinary janitor. He carried a past, hidden in silence. His hands, rough from years of labor, still carried scars from battles long forgotten. His eyes, calm and humble, had once stared down champions. Yet no one in that dojo knew. One Friday night, the dojo was packed. The students were in high spirits, joking amongst themselves while Master Richard boasted about his years of victories. On the side, as Marcus swept the corner of the room, Richard's eyes fell on him. A sly grin formed on his face. "Marcus," Richard said loudly, his voice cutting through the chatter. The janitor paused, mop in hand. "Yes, master?" Marcus replied softly. Richard smirked. "Tell me, you've been watching us for months. Do you think you've learned anything?" The students laughed, some pointing at Marcus, others shaking their heads. Marcus only smiled politely. "I'm just here to clean, sir." Richard wasn't done. No, I have a better idea. Why don't you spar with me, just for fun?" The room erupted in laughter. Students clapped and cheered at the absurd suggestion. A janitor sparring with a black belt? Impossible. Marcus lowered his eyes, shook his head. "I don't think that's a good idea." But Richard pressed on, fueled by arrogance and the hunger to entertain his students. "Come on, don't be scared. It's just a friendly match. What's the worst that could happen?" The students began chanting, "Janitor! Janitor! Janitor!" Marcus stood still for a moment. Then slowly, he placed the mop against the wall. "If you insist," he said, quietly, his voice calm but steady. The laughter stopped. Silence fell over the dojo. Marcus stepped onto the mat. He wasn't wearing a gi, just a faded blue t-shirt and loose pants. His bare feet touched the floor, steady and firm. Some students whispered, "This is going to be quick. He doesn't stand a chance." Richard chuckled, tying his belt tighter. "Don't worry, Marcus. I'll go easy on you." Marcus bowed respectfully. Richard bowed back with a smirk. The sparring began. Richard lunged first, throwing a playful jab meant to knock Marcus off balance. But to everyone's shock, Marcus slipped to the side, effortlessly. His movements were fluid, precise, controlled. The students blinked in confusion. Richard frowned, attacking again with a roundhouse kick. This time, Marcus blocked it, his arm moving like steel, his stance unshaken. The room grew quiet. Something was not right. Richard grew serious now, his smirk disappeared. He attacked faster, sharper. Punches, kicks, combinations, but Marcus dodged them all with the ease of a man who had seen such moves 1,000 times before. Finally, Marcus countered. A single strike, quick and light, that tapped Richard's chest. It wasn't enough to hurt, but enough to show control. Gasps filled the room. Richard stumbled back, eyes wide. The students froze. Who was this man? Marcus stepped back calmly, his breathing steady. He said nothing, only watched as Richard tried to gather himself. The janitor was not an ordinary man, and for the first time in his dojo, Master Richard felt doubt.